Hello, good evening. This is Thomas, aka Dead Texan. I'm going to be covering a topic that I saw here today that apparently is being woefully underreported by, uh, let's just say, a certain side of the media. And the only way I found about it was through people posting about it on Twitter. So it is this right here, the news article of an attack on a Ukrainian refugee in North Carolina. This piece of crap right here is apparently a homeless ex-con that stabbed a 23-year-old Ukrainian refugee who came to America from obviously Ukraine to start a better life or to have a better life, and it was unfortunately cut short by this piece of trash. The video just shows her, and what really bugs me is how they say allegedly. Is there's no allegedly in this. The video clearly shows what happens. It doesn't show the video they show doesn't show the actual event. It stops right here, obviously for reasons that people don't need to be seeing that kind of stuff. But it clearly shows him doing it. So I don't get why it has to be allegedly. It's clear as day. It's not like, oh, we don't know what happened or we didn't actually see what happened, so it is alleged. But this video literally shows it. So that's already kind of getting on my nerves. But yeah, so this woman right here, Irana Zaruska, I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it, but yeah, 23-year-old. Looks like she was just trying to get home from work. Looks like a pizzeria or pizza place. And other pictures of her shown here. Obviously looks like a really attractive young woman. And her only crime that night was sitting in front of this guy. That's it. And he saw it as such a slight that it drove him to then stab her 3 times, once in the neck, ultimately leading her to her passing. Um, and from what I've seen other places, this guy was actually arrested 14 times before. Just a career felon that didn't get the proper treatment he needed and or proper punishment that he needed, however you want to see it that way, and was just loose on the streets. So apparently a GoFundMe was created for the victim's family, and if you'd like to donate to them, um, I'll see about putting a link of that in the description. But what also gets me is, and from what I've seen, it's been taken down, but there was also a GoFundMe created for the killer, and that just blows my mind. But well, I guess it doesn't really, because you also have GoFundMe's created for everybody else, and like I said, I'm glad, at least from what I've seen, they said it was taken down, but no doubt that it would have raised thousands of dollars because people just donate to stupid shit. Another thing, like I said earlier, is being woefully underreported. And I can guarantee you, as many people have probably said, if you swap the races of these two people, it would have blown up everywhere. You would have had every news station reporting multiple stories of it. You would have seen The View come out with talking about it. You would have seen Whoopi Goldberg talking about it, as she likes to try to point out how black women in America have it just as bad as women in Iran, which is just stupid. But we got another video of this gentleman right here, Kaizen. I really like the videos that I've seen of this guy. I follow him on Twitter. If you are on Twitter, I suggest you as well. He made a video about it, and he brings up some very good points that I'm going to basically repeat for you, because I was thinking some of the exact same things he was saying as well. Um, but here it is.
Our empathy keeps getting used to excuse evil. And
That right there. Our empathy is being used to excuse evil. We've seen it all here before. And there's a term that is going around that I very much agree with. It's not YouTube safe to say, but self unalive empathy. So it's basically they're using our empathy to do an emotional argument to justify us accepting and allowing things that are harmful to us.
And it's literally killing us.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I showed you how liberal media ignored a black man murdering a white Ukrainian woman and the racial double standard in reporting. Today, I saw the mayor's statement.
And this statement got me upset.
She called this a tragic situation that sheds light on problems with society's safety nets. Said the killer has long struggled with mental health and suffered a crisis.
Even if that's the case, there is no justification for his actions, and he should be held responsible for those actions.
Said we shouldn't villainize those who struggle with mental health, and that mental health disease needs to be treated with the same compassion as cancer. There was no mention of the killer's criminal record. This is a textbook emotional argument.
Like I said, emotional argument to make you accept things that you shouldn't. Completely ignoring the fact that he got arrested 14 fucking times.
When someone does evil, we get told to be empathetic. Emphasis is placed on systemic issues outside of their control, rather than the factors within their control. We're lectured about not villainizing them. We get told to call them unhoused instead of homeless.
That's another thing that drives me crazy. Calling it unhoused instead of unhomeless. They are literally just trying to call it by a different name. Calling it by a different name doesn't solve the fucking problem.
Terms instead of fixing the problem. Their choice to do evil gets compared to an involuntary disease like cancer. The implication is the killer is the victim, not the villain. This manipulation tactic exploits a logical fallacy called appeal
to emotions. They're using, he may have a mental illness that should have been treated. That is a failure of the system. But like I said, it does not justify in any way, shape, or form his actions. His sometimes evil actions are just that, evil. And there should be no excuse and no acceptance of that. And he should be held responsible to the full extent of the law. There does seem to be a bias on it. You see Benny Johnson posting this screenshot right here, an article on Wikipedia. Not a political website, not even a news website. A Wikipedia, just supposed to be information for the sake of information. And they are putting forth that this be deleted. Right here showing the AP News search. Searching up that victim's name brings up no results. Now, I don't know if that's changed. I am hopeful, and I will check if it has and post it if it has. But like I said, if the races of these two people were reversed, you would see an explosion of news coverage. You would see protest in the streets. You would see BLM out protesting. I say that because almost every one of their protests turns into riots. So it's just crazy to me that this isn't getting the attention that it deserves or that it needs. At least not equal to what would have been done had these races been swapped. That's what I see every single time. Anytime I see an argument talking about race or talking about the injustice of done to said race, I want to ask every single one of those individuals, imagine if the races were swapped, would you still feel the same way? And for me, the way I feel, absolutely. If the races were swapped, I would want justice for that young woman and that piece of crap to be held accountable for his actions, regardless of whether they were white, black, Asian, whatever. And I can say that wholeheartedly. And I bet a lot of those people that try to argue in favor of that piece of crap can't. So if you agree with me, comment. If you disagree with me, please comment so that I can see how stupid you are. And either way, like and subscribe, and see you in the next video. Thank you very much. Have a good night.